Hello. بزري እንትን ትራንስፈርስ የሚል ፔጅ አለ። ልክ ከኒው ሃየርስ ከሚለው ቀጥሎ ትራንስፈርስ የሚል ፔጅ አለ እና እሱ ላይ ናኦል የሚለው አይ ቲንክ ናኦል ኢዝ ፍሮም ባዛር ወደ ሆነ ቲም ሄዷል እና ደግሞ ከሬቲንግ ቲም ደግሞ this ፔጅ So you could compare it. Project one. Yeah. And then the other is that you can transfer that and go to the video. Oh, so that's not it. That's fine. That's what it's these up to. I don't know the name. Refer to. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Transfer that and go on. Yeah. Let's see. Let the court. Snap. Okay, I thought I was muted. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This shouldn't be everyone. You know what it is. Cool. So welcome to the October 25th weekly wins event. The agenda remains the same. We might have some promotions and new hires this week, which we will be introducing. And after that, organizational updates, education updates, communications, and then I should probably delete that. And then core dev, pitch and demos, and then finally conclusive remarks, which is going to be from Emre. So as for personal wins, Blaine, how about you? Let's have you out here. Let's just go for one or two people to share some personal wins. And then after that, we can get to some of the agenda that we have set for today.
Thank you, Doug. So for a personal win, I didn't have any win actually, but I'm reading a book, so that's one win. So yeah, that's.
Let's have you nominate one more person.
Uh,
What book?
what book?
What's the name of the book?
It's a book.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Start?
No, it's about the president of Rwanda, Paul, and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's about.
Yeah.
So it's not worth your time. If I can comment on it.
But yeah, it's nice. So next person, Brooke. So
Brooke Zodo has a lot of speech to do today, so let's have
a different
another
person.
nomination.
Simon.
Who? Samir Salit. Oh, Samir naman.
Simon.
Simon. Oh, okay. Simon, well, what you been up to, buddy? What's happening?
Nothing.
So what happened throughout the week? Thing is, we usually put you out here on the spot, and you most of the time you don't really have anything to say. And this actually puts everything into question. What do you do all week, Simon?
I usually play games and
Let's
Work.
let's talk about the
Mm.
games. We don't really want to hear anything about work because for the next hour, that's the only thing we will be hearing. So maybe let's talk about the video games for now.
What's happening with the video games, Simon? What kind of video games do you play?
yeah, it's called Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. What is that? Is that
It's
like
a-
Pokemon? What is it like?
it's a battle royale game, online multiplayer game.
Battle. What does battle royale mean for those? Who doesn't know?
It's gonna take time explaining. I mean,
Do you know what battle royale games are? She doesn't. So.
battle. Okay. So like around 6 people will be put inside a war zone. So they'll be fighting until the last team
Stands.
stands. Yeah.
Ah, I see. I see. I see where it gets the name. And usually, what standing do you get on these battle royale games? Do you usually come on top or?
Nah,
Back in
usually
the-
it's first. I mean, sometimes you win. Most of the time you lose. That's how it works.
I see. So is it a game that you recommend for our A2SV members here?
No,
So why do you play it, Simon?
because I've started
Alright.
playing it.
Okay, well, let's have you nominate someone else. Anyone.
Mm,
Let's think outside the box, Simon. You choose people who are not your friends. Yes. Perhaps say their names. You can just point.
um,
Okay.
Dave.
Dave, would you be try?
Oh,
David, do you have some personal wins to share with us? Come on, mate. You've been nominated. Sound like you have a choice. What have you been up to?
I don't.
What do you do all week, Dave? So what kind of person are you? So we actually got a chance to hear from Simon. Simon likes to play video games.
After 5 or 6 years, I tried to play basketball, and it was horrible
Okay.
with bad experience.
Where did you play basketball?
China work.
Oh, okay. Was it with friends or
Yeah.
China? It's just a normal casual play?
Me and my friends would try to play, and after 5 or 3 years,
Right?
I can't do it anymore. So
It's here. At least you tried something. Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Actually, the last time I tried playing basketball, it did not go well.
please.
So basically, how I discovered that I'm not an athletic person is when I tried to play basketball. So I had the ball on my hand. I had another ball that's like two balls. Whoa. Hey, yo, calm down. Okay, so like I had a ball and then I actually just I started dribbling half the court and then I tried to shoot it, bounced back, obviously. I grabbed it back and then I went to the other side of the court and then I tried to do another layout. And that's when I actually started to hear my heart out loud. It was like, I thought I was going to die. And, that's actually when I decided to give up basketball indefinitely. So that's how it is. So, Dave, keep on trying. Maybe you can, you'll find that spark back. Yeah, I know. I don't even like that sport, to be honest. Basketball is. I don't see how people find joy in that sport. For me, it's like up there next to golf. Okay. I guess that should be pretty much it for personal wins. We're going to be going over promotions initially. So we're going to be inviting the next person out here to share a few words about what they think and how they think this role is going to fit them and what they feel about it. So for promotions, our deal, Alam Gitahun, I've been promoted to head of development. And congratulations, Alam. Head of development in A2SV is one of the highest roles an A2SVN can achieve. So please let's have you out here, share a few words about what you feel about this achievement. And yeah, maybe you can start with your journey, Lala, like a small testimony.
First of all, my name is not Lalam Gitacho.
Getahun, I know.
Yes.
I made a mistake. I pronounced it right.
Um, So for the journey, I joined A2SV Group 3, and then I become develop, head of education for remote. And then I got promoted to lead head of education, where I want to focus more on development. So I become a backend developer for SkillBridge. And currently I am a deputy project lead for SkillBridge. And now I'm
So in a span of, let's say, 2 years, you've acquired how many was that? Four roles, progressively growing. This shows how strong of a person and nice A2SV member that you are. What do you feel about this head of development? How do you think you're going to tackle this? What's ahead of you?
I guess as head of development, we're going to focus more on projects and their launch. So I'll do my best to facilitate that process.
Definitely. Do you think you will be able to handle people like Ididia from Skillbridge, knowing their attitude? Also, there are people like Tadios. As head of development, you'll have to deal with these people. So how do you think that's going to go?
I've been dealing with media,
Especially,
so we have a system.
all right, fine. That's just for fun. Who do you think is going to be the most difficult team lead out of the 5 core dev projects?
So,
If you had to say.
Hydros is not here.
Tadios.
Maybe.
Probably is. You're going to have a hard time explaining this. Wonderful. Okay, everybody, let's congratulate Lalam for this promotion. Lalam, congratulations. It's well deserved. And up next, we're going to be having an announcement. This is why I skipped this individual for this particular reason. And Baruch Sodri is going to be our interim CEO. This is actually the very first term, the very first time you're using this term. And we're going to have Baruch out here. He's going to have a lot of explaining to do since, I mean, obviously we have the actual CEO on stage. And what the hell does this mean? We don't know. Baruch, you can start by explaining what this term is, and then you can tell us a little about your journey, how you got here. I mean, CEO, like what the hell?
So since Emre is going to be gone for the next 35 days, because he has to attend 2 events, and he's also going to be going to Ghana. In the meantime, I'll be the acting CEO. I'll be helping in facilitating the operations on the ground. And since we have a launch planned for the Cordia projects in a month, we need to run the operations effectively. So that's what I'll be doing. And as for my journey, I'm also from G3, the president, Lalim. Yeah, so I was in the same group, G31. And then as from a student to a mentor, from a mentor to remote education head, then to in-person head, then to in-person lead head, then to head of academy, and then I don't know if this is a promotion.
It's an
But
announcement.
it's an announcement. But yeah. So now to an interim CEO.
So I guess we're going to be expecting you to say words like brother more often.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, brother, come here. And one-on-one. So I guess for the next 30 days, this is something that we're going to expect from. Again, let's congratulate Baruch. This is not an easy role. I, as you guys have heard, he's been through a lot of levels to get here, and I feel like this is the most, the most that an HSVN can become, right, brother? All right. Okay. Congratulations, Baruch. And yeah, we're going to be going over some. Of course, we have a new hire. This is someone I'm not sure we are well acquainted with. David Asaf. Unfortunately, we're not able to find his picture on the internet. He's going to be our technology advisor. Emre, do you have a few words to say, or do we have this individual here in person? So we're having a hard time, Emre, to introduce your name as Dawit. We were looking for Dawit Asafa. Where is Dawit Asafa? Turns out it's David.
Yeah, it is actually David. I can start out with the story there. So my dad named me David. I didn't name myself David, obviously, because I wasn't old enough at that point. I think, still in the womb when I was named. Yeah, all I'm saying is I love Ethiopia. I love Amharic. It's my dad's fault that my name is actually David on my passport, and I have an Ethiopian passport. So let's start with that. Um, So yeah, how I got involved with you guys was um, I heard a little bit, like I'd met some of you just in the library because I come here often. And then you had the hackathon, and that was super interesting, and I was super impressed. And as a little bit of background, I studied computer science um, at Columbia University in New York, and then at Boston University, I did my master's in computer science as well. And then I was working at a company called Surge AI. We provided data labeling services to for basically large language models. So like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, all of these people to develop their LLMs, they need a lot of data labeling. And so we had this web platform where we would pay contractors to label the data, and then we would give that to big tech essentially. And so I was a full stack developer for about 3 years. I just recently ended that. And so I was working remotely from Addis the whole time. Um, and yeah, I wanted to get involved. I got in contact with Emre and also Akash when he was here. And yeah, I'm really impressed with what I see so far. I'm really impressed with the quality of the developers and also the organization and how many things are going on. And I want to be helpful in any capacity that I can be helpful in. Currently, I'm essentially working as a backend developer for SkillBridge. The idea is like I want to get used to how things are run around here. Since like we heard the two people before me how they had this progression, right? And so although I hope it's not going to take me 4 years, but like I hope to have a similar sort of progression where I get used to how things work and um, how everything's going. And yeah, my general hope is like to be as helpful as possible in any sort of capacity that I can, and see where my skill set and my background fits into the long-term sustainability and success of A2SV and sort of the various arms of A2SV. Yeah, I don't know if there's questions or anything, but I think that's enough as an introduction.
Yes, well, welcome aboard, David.
Yeah,
And
thank you very much.
let's give David a warm
Thank you very much.
applause for this introduction. All right, I think we're all family members here, so let's try to show the same love and support that we show each other to David as well whenever he comes reaching out to us for any kind of help. Of course, accept everything with a smile, and I don't think that's going to be an issue here at A2SV, David. Awesome. Okay, and finally, before we go to our organizational updates, there are a few transfers that are still happening. And Abdi Bakal is transferring from rated to adults. Again, a round of applause. I'm not sure if it's something. Yeah, I guess one question is we'll have to see how these are defined. Emre. How is roles transferred from one department to another department? I guess this is something that needs clarity here. So maybe you could go over what is needed for someone to.
Organizational.
Yes, and then you can continue.
In that case.
Yes.
Yes. So team, like basically what we are doing at the moment is, we are going to be launching 3 projects in December. Maybe not everybody knows. Now we have a timeline for the first A2SV projects to be launched publicly. So which 3 projects are going to be launched? Akil, AfroChat, and SkillBridge. So since the launch time is coming, we had a look on the headcounts of the teams, their wants and their needs. And due to circumstances at the moment, we are not capable of satisfying the wants. Therefore, we are focusing on the needs. And based on the needs, we don't want to leave any sub-team with one team member, guys. So you may be like, hey, Emre, Adot is not planning to launch. Why there is a transfer to Adot? Because at the moment, Team Adot has only one web developer. And for that reason, there was a need because we don't want to leave any team with one person, maybe except HR. Yes, so that is the reason why we are moving one web member from Rated to Adot. And Rated had 3 developers, 3 web developers. The only team which has 3 web developers is AfroChat, I believe, right? AfroChat also has 3 web developers. But AfroChat is about to launch. So it didn't have the luxury of giving a member to Adot. Therefore, rating Adot was one feasible change, and we are making it. And the other one, Akil is also now on short on mobile developers. Indeed, if we were capable of finding 2 people, it would have been even better. But due to the necessities in the other projects, we weren't able to do that. But we are capable of bringing 1 person. So now from Bazar is going to be transferring to Akil and helping the team to be ready for the launch by the beginning of December. So this is the reason why we are making these transfers. And we had the conversations with the team leads, got their needs, got the headcounts, and based on the full picture, we asked these members to help us with these transfers so that we are going to be ready for the launch with full squads. All right, any questions about this? And in the future, if such, let's say, adjustments are required, we are going to have the conversations. And based on the conversations, we will be making the necessary arrangements. All right, when we take a look at the organizational updates, what do we have this week? So talent placement specialist position is out. This is an interesting one. Feel free to go and check out. This is a commission-based work. Therefore, we don't have to hire only 1 person. So we may end up hiring 5 people. We may end up hiring, like if there are so many great candidates, more than 5 people. And we already started receiving a lot of applications. Last time I checked, we had 75 people. So I went over first 10 of them. They satisfied the minimum criteria. So these are people mostly placed 50 plus engineers, 100 plus engineers, 200 plus engineers. So they already have done this many times before for other engineers and for other companies. So in that regard, we are quite positive that this will be a great addition to the revenue streams we are trying to unlock at the moment. As you know, we have plenty of developers ready at Escalate. And with the help of these future talent placement specialists, we'll be able to utilize this workforce and make our organization more sustainable in terms of finance. Next, we had a great visit to Turkish Embassy. So Zelalem and Bülent also joined me. And we were able to give them a presentation on how our model works. They were very supportive. Also, their representatives came to our hackathon finals as well. And as a result, we are sending them our proposal, pitch deck, and they are going to make our introduction to relevant Turkish authorities. So we will get connected with Turkish Ministry of Trade and Technology. Due to the technology arm, we are a good fit there. And things are moving. So we have also sent them the package that they requested today. They responded on WhatsApp, well received. So hopefully the conversation is going to be proceeding next week. And they have already made introductions to our Ghanaian embassy, and they started setting up meetings already. So that was another good outcome we got out of this visit. They are very supportive. Hopefully after I come back, we can also invite them to our office and give them a tour. Next, PM office proposal. So we are completely ready at the moment. And Natif was sick, so he couldn't bring anybody from the office. Therefore, we didn't deliver it yet. But at the moment, we are ready. When the moment comes, we will be able to give them the proposal. So the progress on our end is finished, hopefully. We will be delivering it soon. Next, the launch timeline. As I mentioned, we are going to be launching our first tranche of projects in the first week of December. So ideally 5th, 6th, or 7th of December. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be back that week. We are going to have very little time. And the reason, as we have seen in the earlier parts of the slide, we have Biruk as the interim CEO, because like there is a lot of operations going on in the ground, and we want them to continue with the highest quality. And Biruk has been doing a great job in other units. So we have some other qualified people like him, great emerging leaders in the team. And at the moment, he had the bandwidth available as well. And we had the conversations. So please support him. There is a lot going on. I'm sure Biruk, you already see, but now you are going to feel it more, brother. And like I'm really happy because there is a huge youth empowerment going on at A2SV, and I'm proud of it. Because the best way of learning things, we learn things on the job, guys. When you do it, you learn it. When I was switching from Palantir to Google, I had zero machine learning experience. But I told the recruiters that, hey, my background is in information retrieval. I have backend engineering, but I want to do machine learning. So they found me a position in a team where they solve machine learning, they solve NLP problems, which is a similar field to information retrieval, by using machine learning. So this is how my exposure to machine learning started. So at that time, we used some machine learning techniques like black box. So I didn't actually dive into the models, with feature engineering, etc., at the deepest level. But that has given me a bit of exposure. So in the next jump, to lift off again, I expressed my interest. Hey, I want to become a machine learning engineer. So I have this experience at Google, and I know there is a lot that I need to learn in the field. And again, they gave the opportunity, and for over 3 years, I was a machine learning engineer. So see this, but you don't have to be fully ready for the next step when you're taking that step. You have to have the intention. You have to have the potential and curiosity. And with the responsibility, you are going to grow. So I am very excited. I am unfortunately not going to see it in person, Biruk. But from distance, I will definitely be following. Yes. So what else? Well, team, by the way, this doesn't mean that we have only 3 projects that are ready to be launched. There are other very important projects that are also making impact, that are already making some, that are already showing some retention. But the reason we chose these 3, because we wanted to limit it with 3 guys. If you put 2 or 3 arguments in people's minds, they can stick. When you try to stick 5 plus, what is going to happen? None is going to stick. Okay? That's why we decided to group them. And this doesn't mean that other projects are not going to launch, but they will launch as well. In our next round, we are going to again launch 2, 3 projects, or let's say up to 3 projects. So this is how we are going to be launching projects in the future. Not like at once we are going to launch 13 projects. All right. Next, external meetings. So this week was not very busy, but Monday was extremely busy in terms of external meetings. Yesterday we had many. So Peter, he is from England. I will actually have a chance to see him when I'm in London, hopefully. It was a very good conversation. He wanted to learn more about our organization. He has experience in journalism, and he knows people at ALX as well. He's going to do some introductions, and we will talk further in person next week in London. Adama is from Orange Ventures. So long story short, Orange had presence in Ethiopia with an incubator in the past, but now they strategically decided to do their incubation and investment efforts only in the countries where they already act as a mobile service provider. I mean, this is understandable from their perspective. For the background, it's a mobile provider, guys, like Safaricom, like Ethio Telecom. And in some countries, they already have millions of people that are using their services. And they are like, hey, if we actually have our incubation efforts on those countries, it's very easy to promote the new products, right? They are stronger in those countries in terms of promotion power. So that's why now they are consolidating their efforts to their active countries. Ethiopia and Ghana are not one of them, unfortunately. But he's also going to introduce us with another person who has been his president. Prior to him, there was another person who was running Orange Ventures efforts in Africa. And he's going to introduce us because that person has interest in investing in Ethiopia. Simon. Yes, so he basically wanted to, like, he was very interested in our efforts. I remember his reaction, but we didn't talk more about what are going to be the concrete next steps we are going to be taking. I think he was trying to build more relations between European investment opportunities and African companies, right? So he definitely wants to learn more about us. We are going to follow up with an email and pass materials. But the next action items are not as clear, but there is clear interest. So hopefully after he checks out the material, we are going to define things further. Noha is from Microsoft Startup Founders Hub in Africa. She's a very relevant person. They are already supporting many startups in different ways. So we also talked about more of a general support that we can get from Microsoft, because they have an interest in growing in Africa. we have talent, we have projects. There are many different areas that we can collaborate with Microsoft. And so we are working on a proposal, right? I believe it's finished. So, or maybe last night, so we will be able to deliver it early next week. The conversation was very good. So they are looking to learn more from us. Omar is from UNDP. So they are building a hub for developing countries, how AI can be harnessed better in these countries in an ethical way. And he gave me information about the event that is taking place in San Francisco from 11th to 13th November. So I will be also either speaker or panelist. So I'm going to learn more information. But the call was very nice. We do relevant things. We introduce them to different organizations. And hopefully in the event, we will also get connected with other relevant stakeholders. Erika is from Ashesi Foundation. So Ashesi is one of the best universities, if not the best, in Ghana. So indeed, the Google Ghana office is also pushing us to have partnership with that university. We have already received introductions in the past. And Erika, like she provided some high-level information. I would say the meeting could have been better, but it didn't go really well. She was a bit hesitant to provide information. She was like, "Oh, if we get a contract, I can tell you more on this." Like rather than sharing her experience. But when I go to Ghana, we'll be in touch with HSC. And lastly, guide.org. So they are trying to bring used laptops, phones from Europe, from United States to Africa. They know that such devices are going to be super useful. Like even some laptops we get from Liftoff, right, are helping many of our teammates at the moment. So their objective is to create awareness and get concrete steps. They already have some big organizations and individuals supporting them, and they wanted us to share the word and bring more collaborators. So if there are more updates coming in the following weeks, guys, I am going to be sharing. I'll also be part of their online panel. I think that was around November 20. I'm not sure about the dates, but those are the updates from external meetings this week, team. So any questions or points about the wins so far? All right. If not, let's take a look at the plans for next week. So the week is starting with the London trip. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow night. And in that regard, tomorrow we are going to be working with many of the departments, core dev, social media. We are going to be in the office team because there are things that we want to wrap up and we want to have clarity. And hopefully this is going to be a good, let's say, handoff. And what's going to happen in London? There is an important event taking place, FT Live Africa Summit, Financial Times. So this is one of the most well-known and respected news outlets in the world. And we actually recently got featured there. So there was a piece, maybe some of you may have seen it. Dagama, when do we expect the post to be out on our social media? Tomorrow. So you can see more. And even like some people who have seen the piece, they are sending messages on LinkedIn. It's a really famous one. A lot of people are reading it. And many important people are going to be there. Hopefully, we want to get more visibility on our beautiful story and our support request. Obviously, I'm going to be meeting with our alumni, and there are some external meetings that are getting set. Glenn, me, and Jess, we are working on it. We go over the people who are living in London, and we are already making reach outs to the ones that we want to have meetings now. So some materials are going to be prepared. By the way, I forgot to mention UX Squad. Tomorrow we'll be working with the UX Squad as well. So Escalate Investor Deck. So Investor Deck is the term that I started using recently, team. So let me share it with you too. This is not the pitch deck. So what is the difference between pitch deck and investor deck? Well, in the pitch deck, we assume that there is a person giving the pitch. Okay, so you don't want to write many things on the slides. Look and feel is very important. One or a few concepts at a time, and it is supported by a strong pitch, right? So that is what we call pitch deck. And when we are making written reach outs, when we are sending some high level information and trying to get interest, we need a self-speaking deck. Okay, so the self-speaking deck doesn't have the picture next to it. Whenever a person opens the deck by themselves, they should be able to get what you are trying to do. Okay, relatively speaking, the self-speaking deck or investor deck is going to have more written information on it because there is nobody's pitching, right? Did you get my point? Like normally we put a lot of details to the speaker notes, right? When we are preparing our pitch decks. In the investor deck, this is going to be different. Again, we are not bombarding information. It's not like it's full of sentences. No, look and feel is still super important and it is valid. But this time, the deck itself has more information. When you send it to somebody, they can understand your business model, where you are going to, etc. So the format is, we have already discussed, right, during the hackathon time. Problem, solution, market size, are like unique advantage, comparative overview, financial plans, projections. You can see the details. If you want more information, I think you can connect with Zelala, right, and Product Squad. They should be able to give you examples. And for Escalate and A2SV Incubator next week, early next week, we are aiming to finish them. And lastly, we want to shoot the Microsoft proposal to NOHA. And we are going to be preparing similar proposals for different organizations, local, international. Now we are getting better at opening the doors and building such relationships. And that's pretty much it for the next week. Any questions or points?
And a question from the fundraising team. So we've had like just a mark for almost like over a month now. So what's our status when it comes to fundraising? Where do we stand on the fundraising?
So Dagmar, personally, I am very happy to be working with both of them. They have experience in the industry before, and they already start taking concrete steps. So what's being done at the moment? Number one, they already list target grants, and each of them is going to be applying 5 grants every month. So from now till the end of December, we hope to apply about 30 different grants. That's the first thing. Second thing, they are building our audience base, potential donor base. So they are actually making the list of people. We also had some efforts together, right? AAU alumni, African diaspora living abroad, people who cause similar donations in the United States. So they are setting the ground there. They are working on our messaging because not everybody resonates with the same message, right? Everybody has different motives. And there are also some cultural elements. So there is a way to communicate something to an American person, and there is a way to communicate something to an Ethiopian person. So they are also making such kind of, let's say, tunes and adjustments to the messaging we have in our different materials. What else? Like they support us to source such kind of events, as well as make connections in those events to get the best out of it. So those are the efforts that are currently being taken. And like this is relationship building and it takes time. But they are setting the strong basis. Hopefully in the next few months, we are going to start hearing some wins in terms of, let's say, cash injection and donation that is coming to our organization. So which teams should closely work with our heads of fundraising? First, social media. I mean, since you are the marketing team at the moment, it is important for you guys to deliver their needs. Like this can be sometimes newsletters, sometimes it can be some visuals, it can be social media posts or videos. That is going to be super helpful. And don't be a stranger. Like in A2SV, we have 100% transparency. Feel free to write that. If you're interested, schedule a meeting, short meeting. I think like 15 minutes meeting is not going to hurt. So you can also get to know them. They are great individuals believing in our mission and supporting us with their best effort. Thank you. Any other questions or points, team? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emre. All right. Up next, let's have our Ethiopian education updates given to us by Simon or Galila, should I say?
So this week we've given the lecture on advanced string, and also for AIT we have finished the numerics 2 lecture on Monday, and also we have conducted internal interviews, some, and we have onboarded G5 graduate students on Escalate. We haven't reviewed their profile yet, but most of them are registered on Escalate. So that when it comes to our plan, the first one is segmented lecture. It will be given on Wednesday and Thursday next week. And also we'll be conducting internal interviews, and we'll be reviewing the skilled profiles of the graduate students. And finally, the preparation for camp closing ceremony, which is also the mark of the end of our first year education. So we'll be doing that for the next 2 weeks.
Simon, what's onboarding G5 graduates? I thought G5 haven't graduated yet.
Graduate meaning like the
People who graduated.
graduated, yeah, from the school, yeah,
Yeah.
not A2SV.
I see. Okay.
Any questions?
So, even ballpark estimates on how many people did we onboard to estimate?
From G5, I don't have the exact count because we're doing it currently. Currently, from each class, I think roughly like there are 4 or 5 graduates from each class. So at least 2 or 3 of them have joined. We're calling them and conducting them to register. So hopefully we'll finish it by tomorrow. That's why.
Like I can't finish it early enough, guys. Like when I'm influenced, when I'm presenting, also escalate that some venture capital is joining the event. So it's not just decision makers, leaders, there are also investors that are going to be at the event. With having strong presence of developers in our escalate database, and that being visible on the website is crucial. So it would be really great. Can expect that process.
Okay.
Each time earlier generations as well.
No, we haven't.
Why?
For G4, I don't. There is a team for Escalate to do these tasks. This is just from from G5.
Like it doesn't have to be
Okay.
but reaching out to G4 is the typical task, not escalate project.
So we'll be doing that.
Hey, now joining us remotely, Mati. We've missed last week's
Yes.
plan communication. So you're there, please take the stage. As you can hear.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Thank you, Dagi. So for the wins for Ghana education, so our efforts here are currently remote because of the strike going on at University of Ghana, and our efforts, let's say, for the past 2-3 weeks, were happening remotely. So for Terra development, we are working on maybe Dagi, I can mute. All right. We are working on refactoring the code base and working on new deliverables. This were suggested up until the end of the hackathon. So new deliverables as the one-pager, some brochures, and deliverables related to that. Next one is Bloomberg campus interview. So Bloomberg was conducting campus interview last week and this week. Some of our students participated on that. They did their OA, and 3 of our students passed the OA and conducted the interviews. And 1 continuing student has received a verbal confirmation for a full-time offer, which is great. And once it becomes official, we will share it on the A2SV official channels. And the others are also conducting their interviews. Others are also doing interviews with Goldman Sachs, Optiver, and other companies. So application efforts will continue. For our plans, we're going to continue development on Terra. Hopefully, the remote development would end next week. the school has announced that it's going to suspend the strike next week, Tuesday. So once the strike is suspended, we expect school to resume, let's say, in 1 week time. So next week, school will resume, which means we can continue our in-person efforts. Preparation for the next phase, we would reschedule our plans for the education efforts, and we are planning to visit the school dean once they're back in office. We will discuss about workspace for our development team here and for the our education efforts for the next cohorts. So these are the plans.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Mati, also our
Great.
teammates are ready. We are going to pass the list from Ghana to Google Ghana office, right?
Yes, yes.
When is
So
that list coming?
I was hoping we can do that in person when you arrive here.
No, no, no. Like, could you please send me the list today? Because I'm going to follow up with Jason today, and
Mhm.
like if it's ready, we can include it this time.
That's possible. So list of top performance from continuing and graduated members.
Yes. Like basically, from their perspective, it's internship or full time. So if you prepare two lists, or
Mhm.
like one sheets file, and it has two sheets, and at each sheet we list FT candidates, and in the other sheet we list like in one sheet we list FT candidates, in the other we list internship candidates.
Possible, possible.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Marty. That was questions we've had. And yeah, up next, let's have updates from remote education. Blue's here to give us the updates.
So for remote education, we continued the G6 recruitment, and we had a try lecture, and we are continued conducting internal interview. It's not completed yet, and the plans we have for next week is continuing the G6 recruitment until we finalize all the interviews, and shortest pass lecture, and continuing the internal interviews, and we will restart the YouTube lecture series efforts. So if you have any questions for remote. Okay. Yeah.
At what stage we are now? How many people did we interview? How many more are?
I think we have interviewed around 200 plus candidates, but we're still continuing to do the interviews since we have time, and we're not going to start G6 anytime soon. So we're continuing to do the interviews.
Okay. And that's we don't know that.
Yeah,
As soon as we get the
as soon as we get the funding. Yeah.
And how much time do you think it's going to take to finish doing this?
I'm not I'm not exactly sure about the numbers, but yeah, we're going. When we get, if we need to start early, then we can have some cutoff point, and we can, uh, yeah, we can continue that way.
Maybe next. It sounds cool.
Okay, we can do that. Anything else?
All right, thank you, Blue. For our community education updates, let's have red, blue, and red. What's next? Green.
Okay, hey everyone. I'm going to be giving the wins and plans for the community education. So last week, like after the past week's weekly wins, we had some departure flights. Some teams were flying on Saturday, so we have we have said farewell and they have went to their home country. And also we had a final dinner night, and it was very interesting. Three people had birthdays on that date, like hackathon participants, and that was very interesting. In the next one, after the conclusion of the grand finale, we have been collecting feedbacks from organizers, mentors, participants, and jury members. From the organizer side, I think we're like most of the organizers have filled the feedback form, and we have done the analysis. But for the jury and the participants, we are continuously reaching out to them to fill out the feedback forms. Once that's done, we'll be finalizing the analysis, the feedback analysis. Um, yeah, we have been also preparing to resume the community education since we have been focusing on the hackathon, and also most of the education was paused. We're now prepared to resume the community education. We actually will have the first community, not the first, but after a while, we'll have the community contest tomorrow, the A2SV community contest tomorrow. So for the plans, we'll be finalizing the collection. We'll be finalizing the feedback analysis. Sorry for not mentioning it here. The other one is like most participants are asking for the prize money. So we will have a communication with the finance team, and then we'll collect their account details on how they will receive their money. And we'll do that in the next week. And also we'll resume the community education. We have already contacted the coordinators. So yeah, we'll make announcement to the groups as well. We have been also getting requests from students about when the community education resumes. So we'll make the announcement. We have already contacted the coordinators. So we resume the community education. Any questions?
We haven't done all the which one says well. And this physical ones yet that's not 40% digital ones. So that's some people for one findings, etc. I think it is a way of increasing our
Sure, we'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so for the communications updates, I guess I will be taking over this one. Hackathon post processing has taken place this week. By hackathon post processing, we mean we have taken a lot of footage as the social media team, and so this week was all about making noise, being loud on the internet. So that's basically what we did. So I'm actually going to ask you guys one thing: when you guys were like opening your LinkedIn pages, how often were you seeing A2SV related posts? It could be someone liking someone hackathon related posts, right? Or is it just me? I actually genuinely want your feedback on this. Right? So how about the others? Come on, you can speak up. It's fine. How often did you guys see hackathon related posts on LinkedIn? For those of you who have joined, Emre, let's start with you. When you join, when you open your LinkedIn account, how often do you see hackathon related posts? I mean, the past week, not today.
80% of the time.
Right? It was just, yeah.
It should be up before the bus is over.
Yes, that's what we're doing today and tomorrow, obviously. But yeah, that's basically what hackathon post processing means. We decided to be as loud as humanly possible on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, and that was exactly the case. For the next one, Wikipedia page creation. This was a pending task that was happening with them between the marketing team and our team lead Vanessa, and this was a task that we picked up. One of our content creators, Abi and Doi, are actively working on this one, and it's actually has been 80% finalized, let's say. We're just going with a back and forth review with our fundraising experts, and then after that, it will be live and ready. And list of media coverage for our hackathon websites is something that I personally made and shared with Blaine. So on our hackathon websites, like the list of media that actually covered this on their platform can be found listed on our hackathon page. After that, the hackathon wrap-up video, I would say it's like 95% done. So the final review is still pending with Emre, something that we need to do today. But I believe the main video is completely done. And there's also a 3-minute video that my team was working on actively. That's also going to be put to review after this session, after the weekly session. That's why I've marked it green. Technically speaking, the video is ready. It's just requires maybe 1 or 2 back and forth reviews with our CEO and our interim CEO. And finally, our finances time cover is another post that Emre mentioned early on. It's something that we prepared. From what Emre was speaking earlier, I was actually getting the impression that we might actually need to prepare some visuals. What we prepared initially was some video, let's say. It's just some quotes that we've been featured on Financial Times. Maybe we need to create this resemblance, understand what kind of deliverables it is exactly we need. It was my impression that it was supposed to be a video, a small video, but the graphics is not going to take a lot of time as well. Obviously, it's something that we've fleshed out this week. Hopefully tomorrow, the social media team, like Emre suggested earlier, is going to be active and on the ground. These are some of the things we will be finalizing. As for the plans, talent outsourcing video plan is going to take place right after the hackathon. The social media team will completely shift. It's focused towards talent outsourcing. So basically, what talent outsourcing is, um, you guys, right? You guys are talent. So basically, what we're trying to do is try to show you to the world, right? What we have here. So we're going to be making videos about each and every one of you. We're going to start with the ones who are comfortable in front of a camera first. After that, we're going to be targeting everyone. And with that, we'll actually create visibility. The kind of people we have here, the genius people that you guys are, it's going to be visible. And again, utilizing hackathon materials for donation. This is something that we've been syncing with the fundraising team. The effort is still going to continue, starting from Monday with our marketing weekly meeting is when we actually get visibility on what to actually do with these. Last week we had a gist of an idea of what to do. So basically we implemented on that. We created as loud post as possible. Now we're going to be following up on what it is exactly we need to do with these so many hackathon materials that we have. So more or less, these are the plans we've set. Even though they're just 2 points, they're actually very big. And in A2SV, things are very dynamic. Tasks are going to pop up at any time, even now. 1 or 2 tasks are probably being cooked inside Emirates head. So we're definitely going to act on those. But yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, please share it with me. I know, or suggestions, recommendations. Yes, Emre.
Like first, we manage, like based on my understanding, 4 out of 5 businesses don't sell. If not processing is going on, which way you is going to be like still getting on. Like this was managed time discover, right?
Yes.
If it's in yellow, then
Yes. Okay. 4 in a low out of 5.
it's and it's a question because it's ask here in the future or
Oh. No, so we prepared the testimonial videos with 2 of our funding special forces members, Blaine and Zalalem. We shared it with Mark and Jess. So they shared their insights on what it is exactly that they wanted the video to be. So basically, what initially what we had in mind was putting Blaine and or other people on the in front of a camera, asking them about their journey. But Mark and Jess have a different opinion on that. They actually want to create this lore or like story behind it. Oh, what were you guys doing before A2SV, or how has A2SV impacted you in a way? So we're going to have to recreate the entire thing again because it was a task, but it was unsuccessful. It was supposed to be included in the plans, but starting from tomorrow, actually, since we're going to have all of them.
or again, you can have some videos, financial crimes, something. Testimonies. There's a statement. So if you can get them out by Monday, can.
Yes, they can actually be prepared tomorrow. So what we can do today is maybe blaming the Zalalam, since you guys were actually on the screen. We're going to be sending you Mark and Jess feedbacks, and maybe you can reiterate on that. Oh, what was the life of like the image of your life like before A2SV and stuff like that. It's actually very elementary questions, something you can take away from. So we will definitely share those insights with you, and you can prepare on that for tomorrow. Also, yes, another thing is A2SV t-shirts. So maybe in like funding special forces and core dev team members who are going to come tomorrow, either wear your hackathon t-shirts or the A2SV t-shirt, anything that has A2SV branding. It could be the hoodie, please, for tomorrow. I guess this is my message, since we'll also might be doing some video shoots. Idita, is that clear? Yeah, wear your A2SV t-shirt tomorrow. Okay. Any other suggestions or questions? All right. Okay, for product updates, let's have someone from the product team. Do we have Zalala? Come on. Can briefly go over what the product team has been up to.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I'm going to share you with product updates and our plans. So for this week, we've worked on the product roadmaps for each project. And of course, we've been working on the business planning document for each project as well. So in addition to that, we've been researching an addition and refinement of features for every core dev project. So that's it for this week's. So we have plans for the next weeks are collecting feedback on the product roadmap and improve them as you guys as the reviewer suggests. And after that, we're going to finish the business plans and documents. And of course, we will be working on core MVPs on the new features for some of the projects that are going to be launched. So basically, product updates are this. If you have any question, you're welcome.
Come on. So for second gen, we can go ahead have Zalba out here to give us a brief description or about the wins and the plans.
Hi, everyone. I'll be giving you the updates and the plans for Bazaar. I mean,
I will be
I have to address it. Something. So should I just move in? Okay, we have performed a full review on both the mobile and web. We have identified some bugs, some fixes that need to be improved and stuff. And we also documented those to not face them again. And we have also prepared a roadmap draft for the MVP loan. And next up, we have refactored the business endpoints. This is on the back end. And also, there was a bug on the holistic search. We have managed to fix that. And we have made our first social media post. It's on Instagram. So make sure to check it out. And for the plans, we will be fixing and updating the authentication and user profile. Some of them need new UI designs. Some of them need fix alone, and we'll be doing that. And the next one will be implementing the dashboard endpoints. And we'll continue refining the project roadmap since we have to account the lost team member. And we'll also be starting working on the UI designs ourselves. So that's it for this week for Bazaar. Any questions? I guess thank you.
Thank you, Zalba. Okay, for Escalate, let's have Abby.
Okay, for Escalate this week, we've been able to update the developer profile page to match the new Escalate theme, which has been changed to orange and black. And we finalized the implementation of the filter talent page. And things we started working on are following up with our expo clients. So we're preparing one pagers for each client to be able to fit their page and like their ideas. And we've also started developing a 3-month roadmap for Escalate, which should be finalized by tomorrow and ready by Monday. And we've also started preparing user stories for features identified from developer interview responses. And we've also started onboarding G5 members to our platform from help from the education team. And we've also started reviewing resumes of G4 and G3 members. So for the plans next week, most of them will be finalized with the tasks we began this week. So we'll address comments on the one pagers and send it out to the clients, finalize the 3-month roadmap preparation, and we'll also continue preparing user stories for updated landing page and services.
we'll finalize onboarding G5 members and continue reviewing resumes of G4 and G3 members. Yes. Around 200. Yeah.
By the way, the Escalate page, is it just going to be listing software engineers or like UI UX designers or people with who are actually from A2SV with different technical skills? Are they going to be listed there as well? That's actually a question for both you and Emre.
And it's not just going to be 10,000, it's one project outsourcing. So that's one of the biggest changes we are constantly for escalating business model. Because on one hand, the outsourcing help, like how many, like 1% of the companies in the industry are in need of including software engineers. Let's say you are running this, let's solve it. No, like let's say you are hiring software engineer. That's now when it comes to him, project needs. All those projects. So it's part of the current major addition that we are making today. So it's still making pretty much any organization potential customer for us.
I see. Okay, but my question was obviously we're going to
And it's going to come in the future. It's not privatized at the moment. So putting the all what's in the grids family, social media family, then it's not but making it a real they can outsource their digital projects. This is a private business coming through. Let's change our analysis. It's not good. Okay, if you can privatize by one.
now it's up for dime.
So for them, we were doing market analysis last week. So we were doing an E-team review. So that was completed this week. We were also working on a business plan document. So we're developing a business plan. It's going to take a little bit of time. So it was supposed to be done this week, but we're making progress. We also conducted our first diaspora interview. So we're trying to understand what the diaspora's workflows are so we can optimize it basically, what the associated costs are, what methods they use. And another one is we prepared the first draft for financial plan. So as a fintech, we need to organize our finances to understand where we're supposed to be making money from, uh, what are going to be the transfers, those kind of things are going to be outlined on the financial plan. Research on detailed integration with Wise. We're also working on that to be able to integrate Wise with our system so people will be able to exchange money that they have in Wise to Ethiopian banks. On the development side, we completed building models, migrations, and also user authentication was done today on the backend side. And on the mobile side, the review transfer screen and also exchange rate screen are already done. We merged the PRs. For our plans, we'll be preparing 3 months roadmap for Dime. So we'll be working on that next week. We'll be conducting more diaspora interviews. We'll be implementing exchange rates API and scraper. So to just get exchange rate data from different banks and then integrate them to our system. We'll be implementing more UI screens. So most of them are done. So a couple screens are remaining. So we'll be implementing those. Animations for iOS that will also be going on next week. And then another big thing is we're going to be starting working on a proposal for Bank of Abyssinia next week.
Yeah, so that's it. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Ganesa. And finally, we will have our core development, first generation core development teams, starting from adults, to be given to us by Adisa. Quite a lot of updates, man.
Okay, hello team. For this week, as I wrote, we've been working on the period tracking features. We've been integrating that with the backend, and it's still in progress. Prepared a roadmap for the next step of the adults, which has been suggested by Akash. We have a plan on how we can work on social medias, like how much posts we put on every week. So, and we contacted our beta testers and get their feedback. So we have scheduled a meeting. So we'll be conducting those meetings. So we've collected a list of hospital contacts so that we can have their patients as a user, and that is still in progress. And the implementation of data encryption and decryption for the user sensitive data are in progress. So, and finally, we have prepared a Amharic version of brochures and a demo video to be given for fertility clinics. And for the plans, as we've contacted our beta testers, so we have a meeting scheduled for this week. So we'll be conducting those meetings in the next week. So and continue working on the tracking features, which was in progress, and implement the doctor section on the landing page. So we didn't have a doctor section for the landing page in the past, so we're going to be adding that, and go over feedback from Blue Hills and fix them. So we got a feedback from the Blue Hills team, so we will be fixing them, and we'll be continuing implementing the data encryption and decryption, populate insights related to period tracker. So since we didn't have that feature in the past, we didn't have the insight for those. We will be populating that, and contact the Purple MHC and schedule a meeting with them. That is one of the hospitals we had their contacts, and we'll be conducting the meeting with them in the next week. That's it. Okay.
Thank you, Edison. For this privilege, let's have our head of development, while I'm getting it.
So for skill reach, we mostly focused on preparing a roadmap and planning. But when you prepare this roadmap, we are not aware of the launch date being set. So we're going to make some changes to make it fit to the launch date. We've also been preparing user stories and your UI UX designs for our premium features. The user stories are complete, but the UIs are not. We did some product research for parent interface. This is, we've checked some platforms that provide similar features, and we see what they provide and what we can have on SkillBridge. And we've also completed the UI implementation of study session, and next week we're going to finalize integration. And for the payment integration with Chapa, David was working on that. But I think starting from today, Chapa has stopped giving test keys. So next week we'll probably have to figure out how we are going to have payments. And as for the plans, mobile team is going to focus on finalizing the study session and updating custom contest flow. This is, we had a review with Emre and there were some flows that were suggested. So we're going to incorporate that. And for the web team, we're going to finalize course and quiz related functionalities. And for the product team, we're going to prepare user stories for parent interface. Any questions? Thank
Mhm. And up next, we're gonna have Afjad.
Hi everyone, how is it going? So I'm Abel. Uh, so for this week, we have like our wins are the first ones we have had a reflection session overall the on overall the hackathon in general in Africa project as well. So based on that, we have we set our next direction and what we want to do, especially for the next launch. So based on that, we have also prepared our first roadmap draft for our next step. That was suggested by Akash. So we are waiting for his review. Other than that, we have successfully implemented all the modules on our V2 API. So now they are ready to go. So right now we have 85% test coverage. So we'll add more tests into it, but that's the overall progress on the backend right now. We have started working on the payment integration. So uh, for this, we have Stripe and Kappa payment already integrated right now, and we are planning to add more next week. And other than that, we have also prepared the premium package, cost plan, and package offering. So that have been completed, and those are some of the wins for AfroChat. And the plan for the next week is going to be we are going to be setting up and implementing the in-app purchase for Google Pay and Apple Pay. Uh, uh, that will be started next week, and we'll also be onboarding our mobile and web to migrate to our API V2. And other than that, we'll also be implementing features related to premium package buying, tracking, and stuff like that. So I would say those are the major plan for AfroChat. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So right now, the remaining modules, the persona and the explore modules are in review. So after that, after that, it's just going to be adding new feature to our new backend. So the migration to API V2 is completed right now.
So next, yeah.
Yeah. On we'll probably have the reviews. Maybe if you have, I don't think we have time, but probably it's going to be next week. So
And how about it's going to come to mobile? Like it was, as you know, demonstrating like 8% of the on page for.
yeah. Yeah. So for that, on our new chat module, we are we are expecting to add new tools every time. So basically, we have the news, we have the image generator and other tools. Yeah, the tools. Yeah. Yeah. So first, we want to add the tools that we want to show on the front end, on the homepage. So basically, without that, it's just going to be nothing. So we want to add that first and have the update on the UI. So that's the plan right now. Uh, right now, the priority is to set up to give access to premium LLM models. So basically, on our roadmap plan, that's the plan is to finish that in the next 2 weeks. So basically, it's going to be we are going to add new tools and use cases after the next 2 weeks.
But my recommendation, your homepage redesign should be prioritized as well. And right now,
In terms of UI,
what's coming down, sometimes the sand button is missing, like we have people upstairs, there is performance.
Yeah.
We can ask the interface.
Okay.
And then answers are limited. And it's not easy to change. We have image generation with one eye. I can now only do bigger images.
Yeah.
But switching from isolation on happy.
Okay.
Then I go back to see the forces on the like such as this that's it, like the beauty chat back in the
Yeah.
it's hard.
Okay.
Usability issue for at the earliest convenience. Because already connecting the print button, how much is it going to be for the buyer people? What maybe is defining? Those are similar. Rather not
Yeah. So basically, since they will be migrating to the new API between the points, there are going to be an update on those use cases. So probably like we'll expect to see some change on it, but also having the reviews would help. So maybe we'll have some like a way to get some feedback loop as like when we have like some sort of feature completed. So we'll have that pipeline maybe.
about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
5 years use cases,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen things that that is applied to the product.
Okay.
Don't could start applying the previous feedback that you have received from because other things didn't receive such kind of feedback. Unfortunately, but currently things are complex.
I mean, we still got the dependency, so we can't actually jump on those things without like resolving those. And I would say we have made uh, migrating completely to API v2 is a great win. So probably mm, it's just yeah. So probably we'll be starting working on it after that. Yeah.
Maki, Matthias. So who do we have representing?
Mm. We had our weekly planning and we have set goals as we've been told by Akash. We've prepared a roadmap for the next steps of Akil. Like Skill Bridge has said, we didn't know when we like made this plan that we're going to launch on December. So we may modify it a bit. Mm. And we've met with the representative from Ethiopian Cancer Association. They've been very interested in joining our platform. They have not yet. We might need to reach out to them next week. We've refactored the opportunity posting page, and the following are like in progress. We've scheduled meeting with Awaki, which is a representative, like with Awaki representative. Um, and finally, we're going to meet with Faris Technologies, which is an organization we're planning to onboard on Akil. So next week we're going to meet with Al Chirso representative. Uh, her name is Marita. We met on the expo, and she was also very interested in joining Akil. And they also have like a list of volunteers, like even before Akil. So they're planning to like onboard all the volunteers on that they have on Akil, and like um, we're going to implement those features next week, which is importing users from Excel or CSV files. Um, Also, we're going to do payment integration on backend, which is using Chapa API, and finally implement saving volunteers for later on organization's page. So organization representatives can like save any user or any opportunity seeker for later. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. Any questions? Yeah.
So try
Right now we're like collecting all private organizations, and like we're planning to do reach outs
starting from next week. Like by December, I next week, okay. Like I'm not really sure. Like I can't put a number on it, but yeah.
The goal can be reached by private organizations to scale opportunities. You don't have to set the goal for the number of opportunities you will bring because there are no guarantees, right?
Yeah.
But you can set the goal. How many organizations you are going to reach out?
Okay. 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 Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Matos. Finally, let's have representatives from Ratings. Okay.
Okay, for it. So for the wins, we have successfully prepared a roadmap for the next steps of Rated, and we've continued front-end caching on mobile for performance issues. We would also we've also been maintaining the Telegram web application, and we've addressed feedbacks on mobile app from review core dev sessions, meaning other core dev teams had reviewed our mobile application, and we have addressed those feedbacks. And as for our plans, we will be doing load and VAPT testing on pre-ordering feature on mobile app. So since it's a priority, we want to have it tested out and fully functioning. And we will also continue maintaining the Telegram mini app. So currently, the design for the making the mini app responsive has was done by the UI team, and we will plan to implement those parts. And for the admin dashboard, we will add admin dashboard endpoints for pre-ordering analytics. So like when we are in the pre-ordering feature, we will need to have analytics for those as well. So that's in our plans. And the other plan is we plan to add analytics on items, users, and reviews. So for all this, we will be adding analytics for them as well. And finally, we will be testing pre-ordering with a real payment gateway. So basically, that is our plans for next week, and that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Nasser. And finally, for the conclusive remarks, let's have Emre, as we only have one day with us. Let's see your remarks.
Thank you very much, Takım. So team, as we have mentioned earlier, I am going to be on a trip. Like it's a business trip. I will be visiting London first, and then Ghana, and then Bay Area. And on the way back, a few days in Turkey, and some meetings in Turkey as well. So hopefully this is going to increase our visibility worldwide. In all those countries, we are going to be meeting with some important people. And in that regard, what I want to advise to all of us is actually coming from the code that we are going to share. So this is an African proverb. We are in Africa, right? I think this is something that we need to understand well. So if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. When we go together, there are challenges, guys. Because when you become a team, when you bring together people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different races, different demographics, different desires, different wants, different needs, there are going to be some conflicts. This is the reality of life. At the same time, if you want to build something strong, that is going to be everlasting, that is going to be touching many people in one way or the other in a positive manner, we have to do this together. So we are in this together. When I look at our members coming here, giving updates, sometimes we see new faces which are becoming more comfortable with the environment. Sometimes we see old faces which have been looking as if they are doing this for last 20 years, 30 years. So overall, when I look at the impact, I'm super happy. And when I look at the steps that we are taking in terms of making our organization financially sustainable, I am also feeling proud. So it's not easy, guys, to do what we do at this scale. Because many challenges we face with so many people, in other organizations, you face with a lot less people. with more resources in other parts of the world. So in Bay Area, it's unheard of an organization that touches more than 180 people with less than $4 million in education sector, where you have longer incubation time. Like things do not make in education in one day. Like think about Addis Ababa University, how many years it has been around? Do you guys know the foundation year? Was it the 1940s, 50s? It's been around for 74 years. So 1950. Think about that. And how much of a progress we have made in 5 years, guys. So I want all of us to see the opportunity and at this time, stay together. If your heart is not here, the door is there, guys. Okay, we are not pushing anybody to do anything. You're not forced to. You can leave today if you want to leave. But if you are part of this ship, feel the responsibility. Okay? And sometimes the footballers, like they go to another team at the end of the season, right? Some of you guys may have some such like future, let's say, commitments. I heard today some of our members got some offers, right? Which is great. But don't forget, this season didn't finish yet. We have a very important job in hand. Like so many people in the past, they have gone for other positions and we sent them with a celebration, right? So to do that, you need to understand that things have to be communicated and handed off properly. So there is the right place and the right time. So this time is the time that we put our focus, energy, and responsibility on what we do. Okay? Everybody, if you are a head, education head, there are things that you can do at the highest quality. You know the priorities. Putting the information into Escalate, this is a priority. Running the remaining education operations for G5 at the highest quality, this is a priority. If you are a core dev member, ask yourself when you finish a task, is this your best? If that's not your best, do your best, please. Like I want to see more of those self-reviews from our teammates, especially the junior ones. Don't feel like, oh, what is my effect? Guys, everybody, like this is a connected organization, like any organization. What you do is affecting me, what I do is affecting you. So we are in this ship together. And for us to sail with the highest quality, right now, we need to do everything with highest responsibility. So please, when I'm not around here, I want everybody to show the same seriousness, if not more, same professionalism, and definitely more communication, guys. Every time I have conversation with any of you guys, I'm like, oh, he's a great person. Oh, she's amazing. But when we don't have that conversation for a while, there may be things that can, make us make up some stuff in our minds. As a person who have 35 years of life experience, I am telling you, probably you are younger. So the odds are higher that your life experience is less in that area. So hear me, okay? If you are going to make an error, do the error on the over communication end, not at the under communication end. Under communication is a lot costly. But over communication, it's okay to hear one thing once more. It's not gonna hurt. Repetition helps. But under communication has huge issues, guys. So please hear me, especially for the Habesha culture. This is very important. Do over communicate. Because of under communication, we pay a lot of tasks. So keep things communicated, get help from others, help others. Hopefully together we are going to pass this challenging time. And when I come back here physically at the end of November, beginning of December, we will be celebrating some great news all together. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Imran. With that, we conclude today's October 25th weekly win session. Have a wonderful weekend. And for core dev members and education heads who are going to show up here tomorrow, make sure to wear your A2SV t-shirts. It would be nice since we might be doing some testimonial videos, especially Bellini and Zalalam. Don't forget to wear an A2SV t-shirt tomorrow. Yes, you. Thank you so much.
Tomorrow morning.
So for those of you who don't have A2SV t-shirts, no excuses. Reach out to Emre today.